I was actually sitting having a session with myself. I'll be transparent. Um, I have really been in my head, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but those thoughts of like those low vibrational thoughts have really been in my head for the past couple days, and I've really been working on myself, trying to figure out where it's coming from. Um, I haven't figured out exactly where it's coming from yet, but while I was sitting here and I was, going through my head, I got this message about my crown chakra. But it wasn't just me. So I decided to share this with you guys. Um, so we are in a time where we're slowing down. We've transitioned from Aries to Taurus, right? Aries was fire, it was movement, it was spirituality, it was getting into it, it was, being seen, not letting anybody run over you. Now we're in Taurus season. Things have slowed down tremendously compared to, being in that fire sign. We are now in an earth sign. And sometimes we're very bullheaded when we get into the sign. I've mentioned that before in my weekly guidance, and it could be a little unnerving. And I realized that I'm really being bullheaded with how I view myself. And I know you guys are like, oh, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? So, one of the things that we really don't, we do give recognition to, but we don't realize how far deep it can go, is childhood traumas. And for me, my biggest thing was making sure that the people around me were okay with my presence. And it didn't matter what they said, even if they were, I would feel like I'm encroaching on people's space. And I've been feeling like that as of late, which I don't think is necessarily bad. I like to consider people, I like to keep people into consideration. And I know a lot of us like to put other people into consideration, which is never bad. Like, yes, you focus on yourself, you get yourself together, but it is not wrong to be considerate of other people's feelings or other people's space. One thing that I have been an advocate for is my own space and for others to have their own space. And I've been giving it to myself, but I've been lacking, even though I, go into my head a lot, I've been lacking on giving myself space, meaning a more positive space. And it's not bad that we go through these moments where we are in our head, and it's not bad to be in a low vibrational space sometimes, because our mundane and low vibrational space is a part of our balance. And instead of me criticizing myself and getting on myself, and when I say myself, I'm also referring to all of us that is watching this video, because if you're watching this video, it will resonate with you in some way, shape, or form of something that you're doing with yourself. I need to put myself in a different energy space. Like, we do the affirmations, right? And we know that these thoughts won't last. But how do we process them as we're going through it? We all have different methods. Now, in saying that, is the method that you're using, is it still working at 100%? Or have you noticed it falling behind? Have you noticed that it's not as efficient as it usually is? If you're finding that a lot of your methods, or some of your methods, that your go-to methods are not as efficient, that means that it's time for you to upgrade. And I feel like it's time for me to upgrade. And I know I'm not the only one. And an upgrade just means that you have to come out with a different method of getting past some of your things. I I'm coming up with a new method for myself. And of course, you know, I want to share because I want us all to be able to see that one thing, two things, three things, eventually sometimes they become insufficient, or they don't do what we need them to do as much as we did anymore because we've outgrown that method, we've elevated, or in some way, shape, or form, that method needs to be upgraded or needs to have an addition. And I am going to put more additions. I am going to post up some chants. I am going to start with the chakras and do chants for them. There are specific words and specific chants that you can do for those to help you. And I will be adding those on, so stay tuned for that. But honestly, what I was thinking of doing is, in court, like you know about the speaking into water, right? For some reason, water is coming to me with this earth. It's time for us to get down and dirty. So it's time for us to get muddy. Meaning we need to, well, for me, it could be different for you, but if you resonate with this, then try it. We all talk to our water and program it. If you don't, water retains memory to a T. It remembers everything. So what I wanted to do, I don't have a water bottle right now, so I'll just use this because I need to get my blood sugar up a little bit. Get your bottle of water, open it, and you're going to speak into it. We already know we're supposed to drink water, right? If you're someone, you're like, well, I drink from a gallon, or I drink a certain amount of bottles of water a day. Get those bottles of water that you're going to drink and speak into them. So I would say, like, I need clarity in figuring out what my lower vibrations are trying to tell me. What are they trying to, you know, get me to get over? What lesson is it? Give me the clarity to be able to get through my mind and figure out why I'm in this space. Then cap it and write on the bottle either like a really short word, sentence, whatever, so that you know what that bottle is for. Whenever you feel like you need clarity, drink from that bottle. Or whatever you programmed it for, whenever you feel like you need that, drink from that bottle. Excuse me. Because that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to get my bottle of water. I got the hiccups now. Or I'm going to get multiple bottles of water. And I'm going to program them. And I'm going to drink from them throughout the day, throughout the rest of this week. And I'll give you an update on mine. But I would also like for you guys to try this and let me know how it works for you. I'm a big advocate on you guys telling me what works for you and what doesn't. Like, because when you talk about it, write about it, think about it, express yourself about it, it's different than when you think about it in your head. Because even I have to go back and look at my videos because I'm in my head when I'm speaking, but sometimes I need to be outside of my head. So sometimes I have to go back and listen because these words, they don't just apply to you guys, they apply to me. So if you're in your head, try this method. If you have not tried it before, I'm pretty sure people have probably tried it. You know what I'm saying? But put your spin on it. Like, you could put any spin on it. You could make tea. Program the water before you pour it in your tea if you're a tea drinker. I dilute some of my juices with water. So if I'm going to drink juice, I'm going to pour some of my water into my juice and drink the juice, because then it's then fused with the juice. And if you want to go a little bit farther with it, let's say apple juice. You're drinking apple juice. We don't know if it's made by green apples, Honeycrisp. So you would just do something general. Apples bring in abundance, whether it be prosperity, love abundance, self-love abundance, money abundance. It brings in abundance. So you would want to drink apple juice when you're trying to bring in abundance, right? Abundance of knowledge to yourself, abundance of clarity, abundance of focus, concentration. If you're doing pineapple juice, that's also abundance. That brings in wealth. That brings in money. If you do orange juice is like a sunlight. It's like a abundance as well. If you drink lemonade, you could be cleansing and clearing yourself. You could be doing a protection over yourself. So you can mix. Okay, so like I do elderberry with echinacea tea. If I program the water that goes in there, I'm adding additional health properties, because we all know that water is a healing. So great to have tea, which is also a healing factor, with water. And now you program the water. You've programmed your tea like exponentially now, because we never realized we were using water. We did, but we forgot about the healing properties. Some of us, like, we don't always think like, oh yeah, I'm putting water in here as a healing property. You know, this is awesome. Ooh, cool. Remember the video I did about feeding your intentions? This is another way. This is an alternate way of also feeding your intentions. This goes into it. We are going through inner growth. We are going through figuring out our stubborn ways and getting past them. Because some of our stubborn ways are actually harming us. If you have stubborn ways when it comes to your boundaries, but with everything, there has to be flexibility, even for our boundaries. Because sometimes our boundaries could be so rigid, we actually limit ourselves and our opportunities. Figure out what you're being rigid with that you can be flexible with, especially when it comes to ourselves. We're very rigid with other people, cool, yes, but we're extra rigid with ourselves because we're perfectionists when it comes to ourselves, even if we don't know it, even if we don't see it. So think about your inner growth. Think about why your crown chakra right now is being the highlight. The highlight. And now I feel spirit coming. So when I say you, I'm talking about all of us. Don't take it as I'm pointing fingers. You live in your head, but you still restrict the thoughts that come in, the thoughts that go out. You still restrict the emotions that you go through. Another great thing about this muddiness, you're incorporating water, which incorporates your intuition, which incorporates your mind. You need to flush your mind as well as feed it, which is where water comes in. Water flushes, it gets rid of things. We went through fire season, it burnt up a lot of things, and it puts you in your spiritual bag. Now it's time for you to smooth out everything that you've brought in. And we're coming up into a full moon, August 26th, in Scorpio. Scorpio is a water sign, but it's also fiery and intense. And that day that it's coming is on Mars Day. It's on a Tuesday. So we're going back into that fiery movement of element of clearing things out through a water sign, which creates steam. So think about it like this. It's a volcano. We had Aries coming in, blowing things up. Now Earth is coming in to harden and solidify what's coming in. But we need that water to help create that shape that we want it to come in. So while we're shaping this fire, this magma, this lava, because it's outside the earth now. As we're shaping this lava, we're doing it with water. Because as soon as you put water on fire, even if it is lava, it steams. And then it sits that shape and it makes it into what it is. So right now, we are trying to shape what we have downloaded into our crown chakra. How are you going to shape it? Are you going to give it a shape that is restrictive, the shape that you don't want, or are you going to put it into a shape that benefits you? Are you going to shape it into a foundation because you're new to this, or are you shaping it into the rest of the stones to build around this space that you have? What are you letting in? What are you letting out? Will those shapes allow the knowledge in and out as you need it to be fluently, or does it restrict it? And remember, symbols can be switched out. If you're using symbols around your neck, as far as jewelry goes, they can be switched out. Once you put a symbol on your body, it's on there. If you're doing henna or like marker, that's fine. But once you tattoo something, make sure that that symbol is the symbol that allows your growth, that allows you to be able to do what you have to do. Also, we've been taking things too literal. Some things that you should not be having like to go into your head about, you are. We're going too far into things sometimes. Instead of letting us flow through things, we are in our heads and we're going through too much. Some things don't, I won't say it doesn't have a meaning, but some things don't have the meaning that we are giving to it. Some things have a double meaning. And sometimes the first thing that we go off of or go for is not the meaning that we need. It's the meaning that we've assigned to that. But at this, sorry, my nose rang. At this very moment, it's not exactly what we should be thinking of. It's the second definition to it. So let me think. Two of Pentacles. Teamwork. Doing things harmoniously, balanced, right? That's what we think of. The Two of Pentacles could also be a form of two opportunities coming in health-wise or financially. It could be two different physical earth events happening. Like two storms could happen before you get to your balance. Two physical storms, like a rainstorm or a windstorm or a snowstorm, a storm. It could even be an emotional storm, because an emotion is dealing with us physically and affects our physical body. Things like this are very important to pay attention to, because we may get the Two of Pentacles and just see that things are coming into balance, and then things go awry. And we're like, but we just got the Two of Pentacles. I don't understand. Things are going awry because you have to go through that storm first to get to that balance. Does that make sense to you guys? So give yourself grace while being in your head. Don't forget to be in the present. Do not beat yourself up for being in a low vibrational state sometimes, because sometimes it takes us to be in that state to see where we've been and to see where we're going. Because sometimes we can't see the bigger picture being in that elevated light, because we're in it. We're absorbing it. We're in it. But when we're not in it, we can see farther sometimes. So in saying this, I'm really giving myself, a moment to get out of my head when I come back and look at this. And I'm giving myself a moment to really see the energy. I'm seeing where I need to work on being in a lower vibrational state, because I'm in that low vibration and I don't like it. And I see more of what I have to work on. But I'm also seeing that I've come so far. I've come really far, because being in this state makes me feel so out of control, so out of it, like I'm not being of service to those around me, and I'm not being of service to myself. But in actuality, I am being of service to myself. And I'm seeing where I need to make the changes. But I need to be aware that some of these changes don't need to be made by me. I just need to flow with them. I don't need to have an active control role with it. And I feel like we always feel like we need to have an active role when we're changing something. When change is always going to come, change is always going to come. That is the one thing that is always constant, is change. And a lot of us want control of that change instead of going with the flow. Go with the flow. It may not feel normal or something we're used to, but that's the whole point, is getting out of what we're used to. Because some of the stuff that we're used to is what is now causing some type of harm for us or discomfort. You can't grow without being somewhere new. You never know where you'll flourish without being in a new space, without putting yourself in a different spot, right? So challenge yourself in that low vibrational state to see what it is that is not just wrong with you, but is perfect with you. So I'm in a space now finding out what's perfect for me. Because in speaking this to you guys, I have just gone through my whole mental state. I have seen where I'm coming from, and I'm seeing where I need to go. You guys, give me your feedback. Where are you coming from? And in seeing where you're coming from, where do you now see yourself going? And it's not to say that your end goal is going to be different, but you might want to choose a different path to get there now. You might have different opportunities to get there now. Do not feel like because you're slowing down a little bit that it's something bad. Because Taurus season also deals with money. It also deals with, our physical self. It deals with putting things into perspective and getting the blueprint done. So the time that when Gemini season comes, air season comes, there's more movement. Things are going to come to you in a way where you can see both sides of the coin. But you need to be able to see both sides of the coin now. So when Gemini season comes, you actually see it and you're not just feeling it. It's good to put the blueprints on now. Your crown chakra is going to get a lot more downloads. So you got to sift through what's going on right now. You got to sift through yourself. So don't feel bad for going in. And don't feel bad for going out. Because we still have to be present within ourselves. We have to be present in what we're doing now so that we can be present when our future comes. Because when the future comes, it's going to be our present. You don't want to overlook your future because you're too far in the future or because you're too stuck in the future. You want to see when your future comes so you can enjoy it. Just like when these moments come where we're in our low vibrational state and we don't feel as happy, we're feeling it, right? You don't want to miss out on feeling the good stuff. Because when you feel this, you know the difference when the good stuff comes. And that is my dog shaking it out, telling me yes. So I'm going to leave you guys with this. And yeah, just let me know how this goes. I will definitely keep you guys updated on what's going on with me and my growth and how I'm doing it with my water. And I'll get those chants out this month, April. I'll get those chants out. Okay. I will see you guys next time. It is always amazing connecting with you guys, and I appreciate all the love and support. And stay balanced, stay grounded. Don't let things knock you off your game. Things will come, but don't let them knock you off your game. You see, I was about to get knocked off my game till Spirit came through. Don't get knocked off your game.